Gotta catch 'em all. Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Notamon's, obviously, or more specifically, Notamon's Delusions of the God Hand of Creation. I'm going to continue fucking that up and putting Notamon or Notamons just interchangeably. Just understand that. But yes, this is we're gonna be working on the Redux, as you can kind of see here. Here I am in my full Notamon Master outfit. Need to make sure people understand that I am in fact a Notamon Master. So yeah, we're going to be doing this. As you see, I kind of have a cover already. Been fucking around with things, just kind of trying to see what sticks more than anything, because I find that interesting and I like experimenting. You kind of see here, we got some crazy looking weird ass fucking Pokemon and a flower monster thing. That was this was a pain in the ass to generate. It is nothing we wanted to generate properly for that one, but we're going to be going through, most likely, we're just going to do the playing the game section today. I haven't really worked on any of the lore bits. I'll probably do that this weekend. Most likely, that'll be kind of the time there. Ooh. But, as you can tell, we are Gucci. I've been sleepy all day today. Got another coffee from my little corner store. Have you seen Pokethulu? I have heard of Pokethulu. I remember looking at Pokethulu way back in the day. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. For those who don't know, this is Pokethulu. As you kind of see, it's Pokemon, but Cthulhu. See it? That's just what it is. Pokethulu. Yeah. Kind of see here. Can't even remember what it was. It's been a while since I've even looked at this. Technically, it's a tabletop game. Technically. But yeah, we're going to be working on this. Get ready for fun. Not really. These tend to be a little bit more relaxed, as you may say. I did get the elements set up, though. We have Athos, Pyros, Eros, Hydros, and Geos. I thought these would be the best. Of these are all vaguely related to alchemical terms as well, so that'll be fun. Athos is the one that I'm not like the happiest with, because technically it's supposed to be Aether, but Quintessence would probably be a better fit for it. But Quintessence doesn't sound as nice, so yeah, welcome to society. Maybe the real society were the friends we didn't make along the way. So, Notamon. Let's actually just copy. Do it. Notamon's is played, actually. So. Actually, yeah. We'll call them the. Actually. If we want to use if we want to give them a little bit better term, I mean, we can use Acolyte. It would be Acolytes. That kind of gives it a little bit more of a mysticism term to it. We want to do like more magic bullshit. If we want to give them a more mystical term, I think creator should work. You know, when starting their journey in the world of Notamons, the creators and the Notamon and the Notamon Master and M will need a small group. Small group, 2 to 4 creators. A small group of creators, and the Notamon Master will need to create them all. It applies to create them all. Each creator will need a full set of dice, D4, D6, D4 to D20, D4 to D20. Actually, we'll preferably each creator will have their own full set of dice. However, but D20s and D6s are the most common, and actually, preferably each creator will have their own full set of dice, but sharing is encouraged if the full set is not met. Let's see. From there, the creators will need their pencils, paper, and any other implement at the utmost basics of Notamon, the utmost basics of resolution, utmost basics. Actually, how do I want to word this? The creator or Notamon attempts in action with a chance of failure. They are making a check. The creator or Notamon, actually the player will take a D20 and add any modify we'll take and roll a D20 and add any modifiers attempting to reach a target number TN set by the Notamon, the NM, or an opponent's difficult, or an opposed roll to the target numbers. Up a little bit. Why, we don't need you anymore, so we're make when in doubt add some more fucking tables. I love fucking tables. I've come to appreciate tables more over time, as you can tell. No difficulty, target number. This is not a complicated game, nor do I want it to be a complicated game. We can actually do, but what I'm going to probably do is simple. We're going to make it 5, average 10, tough 15, challenging 20, formidable 25. Why are you not the right fucking font? Could be the right fucking font. Don't know why you weren't. Go. Would you ever do a game jam on a choose your own adventure? Probably not. let's see. So, yeah, it's CYOAs. Some can be interesting, some don't have, some are, and some aren't. Are we doing Notamons? Yes, we are doing Notamons. Depending on the CYOA, I might get inspired, but Have you done a review on the Pokemon TRPGs? It is there. I know how to do it. Pretty much that is going to be like a month-long thing. Like, if we're doing Pokemon games, we're doing fucking Pokemon games. That's going to be like a month thing. And the big thing there is I would need to do the actual Pokemon TTRPGs, then I would have to do the I can't believe it's not Pokemon TTRPGs. I would need to do them at the same time, effectively. That's kind of the big thing. The same month, anyway. To really make that work. It's that's the problem with that one. There's an official RPG? No. There's no official RPG. Trust me, no. The ones that are, it's things like Pokeroll, Pokemon Tabletop United, Pokemon Tabletop Adventures. There's another one, I can never remember the fucking name of it. I think there's, those are the main three. There's another one. What I mean by official, I mean like, this is just trying to emulate Pokemon. Like, one-to-one. The unofficial ones, you could say, are things like Magi Monsters. Like, yeah, this is Magi Monsters. If you can see the slight microscopic influence that this has. Yeah, this came out in like 2016. There's a few of these that I've been like, okay, maybe we can go over. It's let me think. There's Magi Monsters. There's Mushi Beetle. At it. Beetle fighting TTRPG. Ah, God, I can't remember what the fucking thing was. I cannot remember what it is. There's actually another one. Mushi Melee, that's it. Mushi Melee. Yeah, this is also Mushi Melee, which is all about beating the shit out of your enemies with giant bugs. There's a couple of these I legitimately cannot believe it's not Pokemon game. Like, more than a few. So me having to go over, I would need to go over like all of those at once. That's kind of the big thing there. Okay, okay, so we don't need you anymore. If the creator's combined roll is equal to or higher than the TN, they are successful and clear the situation. If they roll less, suffer the consequences, and suffer the consequences. However, we then do, if the creator is in a direct competition with another entity. Let's see. The creator's in direct competition with another entity. Both will roll, and whoever scores the highest will be victorious. If a tie occurs, it will the priority is based on size. Let's see. If a tie occurs, the priority is based on size, or actually no. If a tie occurs, the priority Mm. To Notamon for not unless if Tyker's priority will be given to Notamon first, then whichever competitor has the highest attribute, then skill, then if they are a player character. There we go. It's kind of like one of those things that's like, who's going to have priority? If we both have the same attribute, if we both have the same skill, which is we both have the highest attribute, and then actually no, we just do let's see, whichever competitor has the highest attribute, whoever has the highest attribute actually, if reroll the check. Let me think of what else do we need in this situation, because it's going to be direct competition with another entity. This is going to be the opposed checks. We're going to have to add in the important to note. Well, actually, if the result is let's see, when rounding, always round down. 1.5 would be 1, 1.5 would be 1, 2.75 would be 2, would be 2, etc. Always round down unless stated. 1.5 would be 1, 2.2 would be that. Important note, always put in the note, because if you don't, people are going to get confused. Important note, always that. Thank you for subscribing with Prime, Mr. Rogers. Thank you very much. Hello, how's it going? It's happening. That's pretty much it. What if they're in indirect competition? No, that's not happening. It's going all right. Life is doing all right. We are, as they say in the hood, gaming. This is going to be a really boring stream. I hate to break it to everybody involved. It's just going to be really dull, because I just need to go through here and just start fixing little things. Because I think keeping with the D20 system is a good idea. I want things to be snappy. That's the ultimate idea, because the main crux of the game really is coming down to building your best friends and having them engage in effectively a cockfight with one another. And that's kind of the entire thing what you want to do. And I don't want to complicate matters. It's just going to be D20 plus your mods. You roll higher, you're doing better. Easy enough to understand. Let's see. Actually. For an extended if there is need for an extended check, such as do I really need to add in a thing for an extended check? I should add in a thing for extended. If there's a need for an extended check, the NM will set a target. We'll set a 10. Set a TN and a time interval. Each time the creator attempting the check may make a check every interval. Let's see. Creator attempting the check may make one They make one every interval. Building up to the end of the extended. Building up to the I'm thinking check. Make one and for every interval, comma. Building up to the final target. Building up to the final target. Building up to the final target. There we go. There we go. Easy enough to understand. Like, if there is a need, we're not really going to be worrying about it. If it's there, there. Have you prepared? Oh, wait. Have you prepared the Buttermer co-host? I do have a Buttermer co-host, in fact. Should have Pokemon die with the GBA? Absolutely not. That shit prints money. Like, that shit prints money, solid. And that money is never gonna stop. Like, people are never going to, like, stop buying Pokemon stuff. And every game, you're going to have, like, the one weird game. And then whatever is good there, whatever sticks, is going to... People are going to buy the next one. Because people want to try out the new one. It was like the thing with, like, Arceus. I believe that was how you pronounce it, Arceus. It was like, oh, Pokemon Arceus. People really like kind of the open world thing, so let's keep doing that. Let's make that for the next game, and let's make that for the next game, and let's make that for the next game. Like, there will never not be more shit, because Pokemon is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Like, it is, there's a reason it is, there's a distinctive reason why people, like, continue to buy Pokemon stuff. And it's, like, one of the biggest franchises ever. For a while, yeah, it's just like, and it's stuck. So I can guarantee you, every Pokemon game now is going to be 3D. Like Pokemon. Yes. The Pokemon, since its emergence in 1996, the Pokemon franchise has brought in a revenue of 100 billion. Yeah. Pokemon is still like one of the most valuable media franchises of all time. And this isn't even dealing with shit like Hello Kitty. Like, it beat out Hello fucking Kitty in 21. That shit's already pumping money, baby. Pumping money. What is the, like, highest grossing media franchise? Yeah, Pokemon. It's Pokemon, then the Ultra series by... Like, if we do... I don't know why it's... Yeah, Pokemon's worth $77.1 billion. Yeah, it's... Yeah, jet aircraft livery sale. You get some of these, like, weird shit every now and again. Like, Mickey Mouse is worth that. Like, Winnie the Pooh is, like, pretty much up there. There's a couple weird ones that make, like, a weird amount of money. But, like, yeah. If you ever want to know, like, oh, why do people keep making Pokemon games? Because Pokemon will print money. Well, here's the beautiful thing about Pokemon. You know, if you ever want to see, like, beautiful marketeering at its finest, I'm going to tell you why Pokemon is really valuable. So, let's say this. We make a game. We put out a variety of brand new Pokemon. A couple of these Pokemon do really well. We can now sell plushies. We can now sell the digital rights to things to have Snorlax try to advertise you a fucking bed. We can now make that anything is Pokemon, can be Pokemon related. Anything. If it moves, it can become a Pokemon. It's great. shit prints money. It is a marketing machine. And that's just the basics of it, mind you. That's just like the real simple stuff. Like, this isn't even going into, like, again, like crossovers. This isn't going into like side properties. Like, if you've ever gone to the store and see like a little like get well soon card with Pikachu on fucking front of it, and it's like, some people have said the series has become less creative as time has gone on. Not necessarily that it's become less creative. Here's the thing, you gotta remember this, Lubin. You can't think about it like it's become less creative. It's that the people who made the games originally, who made the franchise, they really cared about it. That was like his thing. I can't remember the exact creator's name, but that was his thing. That's what he loved doing. And that's what they loved doing. They loved making the games, so they wanted to keep making them. We've hit the point now where the people who can best sell the thing have gotten to the point of authority. The people who can sell the Pokemon plushies are the ones now calling the shots. And if you are really good at selling Pokemon plushies, you don't want ugly Pokemon. You don't want stupid looking Pokemon, little Ryoshi, little Ryu over there doesn't want to buy. No, you want to get the right Pokemon to make sure that everyone, is getting sold. You want to make sure the franchise is there. You want to make things to make more money, not necessarily of, this is just really creative or something. It's, what is the most reliable, cheapest, easiest way of doing things? That's why I said, like, it was, and I was somewhat correct when I made the call. Like, the Pokemon game was really broken when it first came out, and there was like a big patch right before Christmas. It's right before Christmas. It got a big patch and kind of fixed up a lot of little things where, yeah, guess what people are buying during Christmas for their kids? They're buying them the new Pokemon game. But why bother at that point if they can print money? It's not like it's hurting for cash, as you pointed out. It's not, but you always want to get more. That's the beautiful thing. You always want to get more. Especially when you realize, like, Game Freak, for example. Like, this is Game Freak. This is the Japanese developer, as you kind of see here. What people probably know them as Pokemon. Cool. Easy enough to understand. Technically, things get a little bit wonky here. Because they belong to Nintendo. Like, you gotta remember that. They are in that same level of things here. People... like, they are in with one another. They have 169 people they need to pay. Let me see, where was the... the Pokemon Company. This is an entire different company with 374 employees that all need to get paid. You have to get the anime paid for. You have to get the games paid for. You got to get the books paid for. You got to get the live action film stuff kind of, hammered out. And everybody here, yeah, it's all the brand management stuff you can't even see here. It's holding copyright of Pokemon, Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures, which is a completely different, mind you, company. As you kind of see here, this is a completely different company. That these are some of the things that they have released over the years. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, well, we need more, we just want to make money. It's not just like a single company doing things, because everybody wants to do things. Because the thing is, if, let's say, for example, we work with Nintendo, for example, obviously. Nintendo has a stake in every Pokemon sale. They have a big stake in their Pokemon sales. So, let's say, for example, in our good old Nintendo, oh goodness, Nintendo, wow, it's like they don't have a few games in there. What they want to do now is that they want to start supplementing their fucking, random, like, they want to supplement a completely different team with Pokemon money. They need to, they need to shore up another company with Pokemon money. They work with Psy games. They need to put more money into Psy games so that they can promote their other things in other places. They want to continue making more money, because if they get more money just getting pumped into them, that's just more resources for them to work. Because they decide stuff like literal piles of salt. Yeah, they want, the goal is you want to maximize as much physical money that they are making out of them. That's why I think like the last game was kind of came out of fucking disaster area. But they also sold the bike Pokemon. Remember the bike Pokemon? Where it transforms into like a motorcycle? You can damn well you damn well know that there was a fucking toy on the shelf with just like that. You damn well know there was a toy on those damn shelves that were there, because that was what it was about. You want to maximize your sales department, because somebody in there, somebody in the business needs to make his wage, because things are only getting more expensive. We need to make sure the Pokemon games make more money. And it's one of those things, I wouldn't be surprised if some of that Pokemon money from the massive success there went to things like the Tears of the Kingdom, I should say. New Zelda game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of Mikasa Yukasa going on there, where Nintendo reaps some of the profit and then dumps it into their properties. If Nintendo has a bad year, they will make a Pokemon spin-off. That'll I can guarantee you. Anytime there's a bad year for Nintendo, it's Pokemon spin-off hours, because that shit's gonna recoup losses almost immediately. But the smaller stuff doesn't really seem to see the money, do they? You do see them. That's the thing. I could picture it a lot as shoring up, and it's a lot of like, wow, you guys are hemorrhaging money. Please take the Pokemon money and stop fucking up. Please. And it's like, how do we pay the studio stuff? Like, well, we're gonna pay you, well, you need to work like 20 hours overtime every week until you get this fixed up. Here's the money to pay you. I mean, like, why are we here in the mines, Nintendo? Fuck. Game Freak, son, what are you doing? But yeah, no, it is a very large mess. That's kind of the idea there. It's not, people really like to think that it's like just this like really simple idea, but it's like, when you get to those mega franchises, it's not just one person. It's not just like a couple of people. It's hundreds of all working together who all need a cut of that money. So we're going to start getting down to advantage. I'm thinking about actually changing the font, because currently I'm using Poppins. Poppins is like a little bit of a simpler font. Yeah, we're going to be doing advantage and disadvantage dice. Actually, throughout their adventure, the creators will find themselves blessed with good fortune, as well as hopeless misery, Let's see. Throughout the creators find themselves blessed with good fortune as well as hopeless misery. When this occurs, they have advantage, or disadvantage. I guess I could change that to like when this occurs, they have advantage or disadvantage. I could probably change that. I don't know if I want to keep those terms. When a creator has advantage. Actually, both of these are Both of these are measured in D6s. D6s, preferably different colors. Both of these are measured in D6s, which are rolled alongside the D20, If the creator has an advantage through luck, planning or abilities, they will add plus 1d6 to their final result. If they have a disadvantage, often because of bad timing, lack of tools or abilities, they will lose negative 1d6 to their final result. These two forces counter one another. Having two advantage and one disadvantage would mean only adding plus 1d6 to roll. If I'm changing it to the dice system just because I feel like this is going to make things a little bit smoother later on. Be like you're just rolling dice rather than having to like manage multiple d20s or something like that. They really keep the addicts jonesing. Well, yeah, that's the plan. You always want to keep addicts going. You never want to give them everything they want, but it's like you need to keep giving them smack or they're going to go elsewhere. Even though nobody's really done like a Pokemon thing. I mean, there was that Pal World. Yeah, Pal World was like the one that everyone saw was like, oh, wow, this looks really cool. Like, this looks like it's going to be a Pokemon thing. And then they released a trailer of Pal World, and they showed this tiny monkey with a fucking AK. I'm like, oh no. But like, the weird thing with Pal World is, yeah, brand new multiplayer open world survival crafting game. Yeah, I wasn't as enthused. Like, it was really funny how like one variety, this like one little string of words completely murdered my enthusiasm for something. Like, oh, it's a brand new multiplayer open world survival crafting. Because like the designs aren't bad. I mean, they're not exactly the most like, they are not exactly the most creative things in the world, but sometimes you don't need like super creative things. Sometimes you just need something that looks nice. And like everything looks the part. It's just like, why are you making it an open world survival craft 'em up like so many other fucking games? Like, oh. Temtem, yeah, I remember Temtem. Yeah, I've never seen Temtem stuff, but people seem to like it. I was like, oh, it's Temtem, and I think the thing that threw people off Temtem, you kind of see here, you know, with all the little Pokemon fights and stuff. I think the thing that really threw off Temtem, the fact that it's $45 fucking dollars, like that's a big thing. It's $45. And I'm like, oh, like I get the idea is like, oh, it's a multiplayer thing. Like, but they, like, the problem is you are effectively paying for a full price Pokemon game, effectively, at the end of the day, for $45, and it's like you're probably gonna get more out of this if you are playing Pokemon. The thing with Power World, if you were just saying like, hey, you're like a weird Pokemon poacher, and that's the entire thing, is like, yeah, you're a terrible human being in this world where everyone's like really nice and friendly with each other, and it's like, yeah, you have to survive effectively the Safari Zone of hunting down these pals, in which on one hand you're gunning them fucking down because you need to sell them because this is money, and it's effectively Pokemon Stalker. I would be completely down with it. Not even necessarily like Team Rocket Sim, but like it would be like have it like be like the idea of like, yes, I have to use my environment. I'm literally using the creatures of the Safari Zone to like do shit. I mean, like, how do we, in which you can even make it like a kind of a reoccurring kind of like funny joke, is like, how do we get things to be so tame? Like, how do we get games, like, how do we get things to be so tame? It's like, well, because you have to do it. Like, you need to catch starter Pokemon and shit. Actually, it's like, yeah, honestly, it seems like you need to put shit like that in. Yeah, because the thing is, like, the open world survival crafting thing and all that jazz, that's really good. Because what's going to happen there is that people are going to get addicted. And the thing is, if you're addicted, you can make some shit. You can make money off that shit. Easy. Especially, like, when you're one of the first people to kind of hop on it early. Like, there are people who have made their entire careers on, like, YouTube and shit, like, doing one thing. There are literal people who make a good chunk of money for making fucking FNAF videos. You know, Five Nights at fucking Freddy's. People made their, like, careers out of that shit. Because they hopped on it early, they had the right look, they had the right idea, they had the right thing. There are people who make money off of making Minecraft videos. Like, that's kind of the big thing in that regard. Like, if you can hop on, like, a trendy game, you can hop on that trend pretty good. You can get real big, real fast. And I think that's the big thing with a lot of those kind of like survival open world crafting simulator games, where if you do get a few good people in there and that people are going to keep buying it, they're going to stay. And they're going to keep playing, they're going to keep wanting to buy all the DLC shit, they're going to keep wanting to get their friends to play. The thing is, you can never play those games alone. You always need to get, you know, people to play. So it's never just you and another person. It's you know, it's never just you. It's you and 2 to 3 other people you've convinced to buy the game. Like, it's just a constant cycle. And the problem is we're seeing the collapse, actually. Interesting note here. We're actually seeing a pretty heavy collapse of the live service stuff. I would say in the recent months, we're seeing the, I would say, the death knell of like the live service thing, which is really fucking weird that Wizards of the Coast is doubling down on that. Really weird. But I think that's just because they missed the trend. They missed the trend, one hop on it. We're seeing kind of the death knell of those games. And hopefully this means we're going to see a return to more of like the single player stuff, because like the Resident Evil 4 remake, people are really digging the Resident Evil 4 remake. That shit's really popping off and it's everywhere. I've seen more of the fucking mouse Ashley than I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. I see it everywhere. It's in my dreams. It's in my mind. Please God, send help. But indie stuff, it's a risk. That's always. Because the thing is, this is a very important thing to know. Turn my light on here so I can actually fucking see. Big thing is, Mouse Ashley. So a Twitter person made a meme of making Ashley from Resident Evil 4 into a mouse. And that's just it. And it's really taken off. It's everywhere. It gets posted all the fucking time. Gadget hack wrench moment. But the big thing is making an actually like well-written, kind of really feature-rich single-player experience is fucking hard. Like, I don't think people quite understand that. That shit is difficult. Because it's not even necessarily from like a coding perspective or, kind of like the back-end stuff. It's not from that perspective. A lot of that comes into the idea of like, what do you do? Like, think of like picture like Rust, for example. Does Rust work as a game with no people in it? No, Rust is an incredibly boring game alone. Does DayZ really do much like by itself? No, not really. There's a bunch of other games that do that kind of thing better. The thing is that is that the kind of the open world, survival crafters and all that shit with multiplayer especially, is that you can do that and just give people a bunch of tools and say, make content. That's like how MMOs. Yeah, that's how like MMOs and things like that really actually do well. Like World of Warcraft is not a fun game. It's not fun. You're having fun because you're with other people and you're doing it together. I hear they took the B-movie charm out of RE4. I do remember the zero punctuation review of it. I think kind of summarized it pretty well. They turned up the sensible dial a lot. They made things a lot more sensible and a lot more. And in terms of that, they removed some of the charm, like the very big goofy like the very goofy shit of RE4 out, which I mean, it's understandable. That's been the direction that Resident Evil has been going for the past while, and that is the completely logical decision. If it was any, like, I have a feeling, I would say in like 2-3 years, we'll see the RE5 remake, which, honestly, I would be down for the RE5 remake. I would be down for that. I think it's old enough at this point that you can do a remake of it, add in some of the little bit more of the grittiness to it. Mostly with the new Chris, and make Chris continue being a boulder punching asshole, and that's kind of like one of those things you can do a few different angles with, kind of like a RE5 remake. I think if they most likely, if I were to be a betting man, if they do an RE5 remake, yes, this is the one in Africa everyone threw a shit fit about. Yeah, there are some interesting bits in the 5th game. One of the major issues of the 5th game really does boil down to the fact that it's just not very good. Like, it's not bad. It's one of those delightfully 7 out of 10 kind of games. It's a little goofy, but not super goofy. It's, the gameplay is fine, but not great. It is the quintessential okay. Like, it's fine. That's kind of the problem. Which, solid, why can't we have anything with good B-movie writing in it? B-movie writing is a unique phenomenon. Because if you've ever seen anything trying to be so bad it's good, it's cringy as fuck. Any movie, anything trying to be, oh, it's so good, it's bad, so bad, it's good. is really painful to actually watch. But then you look at something like The Room, for example. The Room is hilarious because there was so much goddamn heart in that movie. Tommy Wiseau did put 110% into everything he said because he thought it was going to be Kino. And it is Kino. The Room is the perfect movie. That is so bad it's good. To get that B-movie kind of writing and stuff, that was a specific time, a specific place, and trying to like directly emulated it. Yeah, it's like you can't intentionally do It's So Bad It's Good unless you're the lunatics who made Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Because that's the thing. But the thing is, here's the thing with MGS Revengeance. People meme on it, meme. People meme on MGS Revengeance. But here's the thing. If you actually take everything and they say at complete face value, it's actually saying a lot. The thing is, it's actually saying quite a lot of like very Metal Gear Solid stuff. It's actually a very well written story. It's just completely insane the way they present it, and every single character, every single voice actor, every single character, every single thing about that is deadly fucking serious. In just the most ridiculous situations. The memes, Jack. You don't understand. Yeah, literally the entire plot of Metal Gear Revengeance. Yeah, it's the entire plot of it is actually incredibly relevant to, to modern life. It's like, hey, what are you really fighting for? Are you fighting for what you believe in, or are you fighting for what others believe in? Fighting for who you are or what you are? And it's just like, hey, if are once a soldier, always a soldier. Because if you really get the idea, is like every character, all the bosses you fight, they all pretty much fundamentally understand they can't be anything other than soldiers. And they over-accepted it because Armstrong gave them a purpose. Which is literally Sam's entire thing about, oh, I fight for ideals. That's the entire reason he is doing that. Is Sam has no other purpose. And that's why he's so fucking frustrated at, Jack. Because he's like, Jack, you gotta understand. You have to fight for a reason. Because if you don't fight for a reason, you don't bother with. Yeah, I know. It's just like, and then the protagonist goes undercover in Mexico by wearing a fucking sombrero. Yeah, again, it's one of those, like, it's deadly serious. It is deadly fucking serious. And you want to know how the entire comedic moment of Jack showing up in Mexico in a fucking sombrero? Because he is deadly serious the entire time. And everybody else is also deadly serious the entire time. The ending of Metal Gear Solid 4 is you getting launched onto a aircraft carrier and fist fighting. The ending of fucking Metal Gear Solid 4 is a fist fight trying to stop the end of the world on top of an aircraft carrier trying to start Armageddon. And you literally just fight a fucking two geriatric men beat the shit out of each other. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like, is Metal Gear fairly focused on the issues of the modern world and the result of the Cold War? And yeah, it's an incredibly deep series. It's just completely insane at the same time because it takes itself deadly serious. That's how you make good bad writing. You need to be 125% sure that you are writing perfection. Because the millisecond, the quarter millisecond that you start trying to be funny and everyone else thinks that they're being funny in this world and this thing, if everyone realizes that this is a big joke, it breaks. Like, it completely breaks. That's the issue. Well, that's the reason why Maxor never wanted to do the Revengeance video. Like, that was like, even though it's like one of his, probably his biggest videos currently. Is he didn't want to do it because there's nothing to joke about, because it's deadly serious. And good bad writing has zero self-awareness. That is the quintessential thing right there. Is that you have to have zero self-awareness, and that is really fucking difficult. That is impossibly difficult these days. A clown reading Hamlet to a degree. You know, and I think the best way to think about it is like you would have to be reading emoji Hamlet, like, but everyone's deadly serious. Or if you've ever seen, I would say if you've ever seen Drunk Shakespeare, that shit is amazing. Absolutely shit-faced Shakespeare. That is complete kino. It's amazing. Yeah. Drunk history too. Not necessarily drunk history. Drunk Hamlet is drunk Shakespeare is funny because they're live on stage doing Shakespeare reading, except one actor's completely fucked. Like completely smashed. And nobody knows who it is at first. Not even the actors know who's going to be completely shit-faced. And I saw a partial bit of one. And it was, God, what was it? It was fucking Macbeth. It was fucking Macbeth. And Lady Macbeth was shit-faced. Picture all of Lady Macbeth's very somber, very, trickery and bullshit. Except she just slurs every word. Every single word is slurred. There's no rhyming. She's like coming up with lines on the spot. It's great. Aside from Metal Gear, so what other series even comes close that are so bad it's good, or it's sane, but everything is fucking or it's sane, but everything is fucking insane. That's just Kojima in a nutshell, or a vast majority of like, I would say like just Macbeth played by actual Scottish people. I'd say Gundam can be that way sometimes. Because you'll be watching Gundam and it'll be like, let's talk about the horrors of war, and then it'll like smash cut to somebody like completely destroying the enemy and like a fucking cavalcade of nightmares. Not nearly as bad though. Depends on which Gundam series you're watching, generally speaking. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things of Witch from Mercury. So take that as you. Let me think. We've got. Can't really think of like franchises like that. I guess if you want to make a. I guess if you want to be a little push it to the limit. You can probably say Spec Ops: The Line kind of does that as well. But that's kind of in the opposite direction, where it's like very cheesy and very poorly written, but it makes complete sense. Why? Because you're a fucking idiot and going insane. Like that's the point. Trying to be a little bit more deep there. If a creator rolls a 20 on there, rolls a 20 on. You've seized the momentum. You've seized the momentum. Automatically succeeding at the action they were attempting when They can when a creator has momentum. Depending on the situation, they will be able additional benefits. So when attacking an enemy, the creator deals maximum damage. Deals maximum damage to the target. Created actually. During combat, which they may choose to deal maximum damage to a target. Second attack. Actually, make a second action. Make a second action. If they are not in combat, they may choose to again. Next roll. Grant an ally. And next roll. What do I want to do? Momentum. Let's see. Momentum ends at the momentum will end the next roll. Next check, I should say. The next check the creator makes. However, they may spend health equal to the difference of their D20 result and 20 to continue the momentum. To continue their momentum. This lasts as long as the rolling or forcing 20s. Nope. Yeah, the entire idea of momentum actually came from Feast Time, from good old Feast of Legends, which is one of those things like, this is actually not a bad idea. It's just kind of the idea. The basic concept is like, hey, you rolled a natural 20, you can continue. Like, you can continue to force being able to roll a natural 20 if you want to. You continue forcing yourself to roll a natural 20, you will be able to do better and better and better. My new movie to play where it's just Peter Pan or something, except the stage keeps breaking down while they're trying to put it on the show. Yeah, there's quite a few of those. Like, there's quite a few, like, just things go horribly, horribly wrong during theater productions and stuff. I always find it funny. They're always my favorite. Isn't that momentum system just confirming frets? Just confirming crit? Not quite. Confirming crit is you roll a 20 and then you have to roll a 20 again to actually like get the full results. This is, let's say for example, I rolled a 20. Awesome. Wow, I rolled a 20, but let's say I need to roll again. Aw, man, I rolled a 5. I can spend 15 HP to continue my momentum. Or if I roll, really well, I rolled a 14, I can spend 6 of my HP to continue getting as if I rolled a 20. You're always pushing yourself forward a little bit. There's going to hit a point where it's like, well, I can afford to spend 6 HP here to continue to automatically succeed at my check, as well as get some of the advantages, such as, dealing maximum damage to my target, having a second action, having an advantage on my next roll, or recovering 1d6 health. And it's like, oh, well, why can't you just, constantly just, why can't you just, like, constantly try to just go for the 1d6 health thing? You can, but remember, you're not really getting any advantage out of it at that point. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you spent 6 health and you got 6 health back. You succeeded. That's really it. Good job. You succeeded and healed. You now have to do it again. That is like, hey, I crit. I'm just going to take some extra health because I need my health back or something. Or, hey, I'm going to fuck your day up. I'm going to hurt you a lot. So it's like, all right. Now we get to Fumbles. Fumbles! Hey everyone, it's me, Fumbles the Elf. Fumble. Oh, rolls a 1 on their what on their D20? They have fumbled. They have fumbled. They immediately fail the action. They are performing and suffer other effects based on the situation they are currently in. For combat, the NM will choose inappropriate punishment for the situation. We'll choose an appropriate punishment for the situation. For combat, during combat. Let's see. Character creator ends their turn. Ends their turn immediately. Actually. The creator. Let's see. Actually, the creator gains a condition at rank at a value gains a condition. Creator gains a condition. The creator suffers 1d6 1d6 plus. Actually, you know, it suffers 1d6 damage. Mm. 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 When out of combat. Let's see. Creator activates. Disadvantage on their next roll. Mm. It's pathetic. Yeah, you suffer a catastrophic. Mm. When a creator fumbles, they cannot continue their momentum. They automatically lose. They automatically lose their momentum. They automatically lose their momentum if they had it. There's no way to mitigate the rapid failures. Start easy. Stand. We love natty ones. I'm usually not a big fan of things like natty ones or anything like that, though. Fun fact. I just find them annoying. But this game is supposed to be this game has a little bit of a humorous edge to it, if you can't quite tell by the fact that it's a fucking shitpost. But yeah, there we go. And disadvantage, momentum, we add an image there, we add an image right there. Okay, so system has been... will there be a TG thread this month, or did that new March thread take its place? Yeah, it... that kind of took the role of the April one, so it was like, well, you don't really need me. It was doing all right, so I was like, eh. Hey, Notepad, are there any good god games like you just feel like a god without becoming a slog, or tile game, or just making new tiles and nothing much at all? No. Unless you're going into things like there are a few like world building games, but those kind of do their own thing. I can't really think of any, really, unless you're doing like Noblesse. But Noblesse is a special kind of game. I do not recommend it for many people. Did I change the name of Goop? No, it's still Goop. Prima Materia is just a alchemical term. Because everything is going to be based off of alchemy going forward. That's kind of the big thing there. Everything is based off of glorious alchemical processing. Because I thought that would be the most appropriate. And Prima Materia is technically the thing that people want to make. What the fuck? So we've cleaned this up a little bit to make this a little bit easier to kind of read. Feel like I'm missing something still, like like what am I missing mechanically, like just based on like I'm gonna put a note for myself here. See if there's anything like for later that I might need to like add in there. So, creating a creator. Okay, let's get down to business. So, a creator is creators are a group of sorcerous individual, I should say, mystically inclined, alchemically dependent, are mystically inclined, alchemically dependent, sociopaths who have mastered the art of creating Notamon, and are able to manipulate the primal matter of reality, goop for their esoteric ritual, goop. They are often regarded as powerful, mystical, and incredibly dangerous. Dangerous for their continued research and development of world-ending and competitive abomination-based gladiator combat. With the War of Four Fingers kicking off, many creators are being quickly graduated from various academies, hermetic schools, or the War of Four Fingers kicking off. Many creators are being quickly graduated from various academies, hermetic schools, returning from prolonged exile to stake their claim in the new world. In the ensuing chaotic death war. Actually, no. Yeah, that's going to be the main plot going forward, fun fact. Suno. So, Notepad, what inspired you to do the whole deep dive psych thing for April Fools? Also, what is the point of April Fools? See, this is another pointless fake holiday for assholes. The whole deep dive in the psych thing, it was entirely based on one person. It was entirely based on a singular group of people from the Orange server. Kind of going a little bit ham on me. I got really fucking annoyed, like incredibly annoyed by it. To the point where I was really debating on things for a while there, and then I kind of realized it and was like, yeah, this is just what I've been wanting to do. And so I did my entire dive into the psych thing after getting because they were the ones who really wanted me to remove the Thirsty Sword Lesbians video, the original TSL video, which it's like, why would I remove it? I still stand by literally everything, being like, oh, well, you should be more positive. Being like, I am positive. What the hell is the orange server? It's another game design server, primarily built from people from GDG, which is the original game design general and on TG, which moved to Game Design Guild, which is run by a depressed Argentinian man. You'd be positive they should have asked for another game. Yeah, and its thing is, like, even when we were going over yesterday, I was like, a lot of the videos I do, like, I do have quite a few positive games. Like, I point out flaws of games. You gotta remember this. I point out flaws of games because I want people to know, like, this is maybe not going to be the greatest thing of all fucking time, because I haven't found the perfect game. But that's why I like going over all of it. But it is true. People see the TSL video and, like, they kind of assume that's just who I am. If you watch more than one of my videos, it's pretty easy to understand that that's not entirely who I am. Are you going to be a video about Imperial Maledictum? Maybe. I might. It's either going to be Imperial Maledictum into Dark Heresy, or it's going to be Imperium Maledictum, and it's going to be more like, here's a history lesson on the 40k RPGs, kind of going over each of the mainline ones when we kind of think about it, and then kind of going from there a little bit. Being like, yeah, here are kind of like the mainline games that people always talk about. It's like, people talk about Dark Heresy, it's the big, I would say the big three are Dark Heresy, Only War, and Rogue Trader. Those are the big three. And I say that very loosely. Dark Heresy and Only War probably see the most amount of play by a country mile. They are two very unique games. Rogue Trader is a very fascinating game that has a terrible fucking system. It is a horrible system. And for what it's trying to put down, what it's trying to do, it does not work. And nobody really talks about Dark Heresy 2nd Edition, but that's kind of its own beast. Would you do Star Wars RPG lines? I've been thinking about doing Star Wars games. The problem is it's like Genesis, and I just don't like Genesis. Like, I'm like, yeah, propriety dice, and I'm a little bit worried, like, that's gonna really color my opinion on the games. Because there's like Star Wars D6, which that's kind of an interesting game to talk about, because for a lot of people think that's the best Star Wars by country mile. And others think that there's also like the Star Wars D20 game. There's the FFG games. There's a few Star Wars games I know. It'd be interesting to talk about them. But like the Warhammer games, I need to do a video one day on Soulbound, because I think Soulbound is such a fascinating conversation to have, because it's such a fucking mess. It is such a brilliant disaster piece that I want to learn more about it. Because I actually have done work on Soulbound. Yes, it's the Age of Sigmar RPG. Yeah, it's the, yeah, this is the Age of Sigmar tabletop game. And yeah, if you've ever looked at things like, man, Age of Sigmar looks pretty fucking stupid, it's not going to change your opinion on it. Because like one of the weird thing is that it uses this archetype system. Instead of having like what we would like think of like character classes or something, they have archetypes. And those archetypes are actually just classes, but there's a catch. There's a very big and very hectic issue with it. And Draco's kind of pointing it out there. every single archetype is actually a miniature in Age of Sigmar. There is a way for you to play Soulbound as like a regular human being, but there's so much weird shit in Soulbound. I don't understand why there's so much weird shit in that game. I do not understand it. It is such a fucking weird thing. Because the thing is, it's not just like a cool name. No, Soulbound is an actual like mechanic in that game, which is the idea of like, oh, you're soulbound, and when you die, you like burst into fucking flames or whatever. And it's like you get like superpowers effectively from it. The catch is though, there is a very important race, the Sigmarines. I can't remember their name. The Sigmarines are in there, and they have to make it an abundant point that they are not soulbound. They cannot be soulbound at all because of their mystical nature, but they have to be in there because they're the main characters of Age of Sigmar. It's such a bizarre fucking experience. Age of Sigmar is a weird fucking world. It's a weird, not good weird. You gotta remember that. It's not good weird. It's just fucking weird. It's funky weird. It's funky trunky weird. Where it's like, what in the holy shit are you talking about? Also, no shit. Consume. What is the most good? What is the most good weird setting that stands out on its own? Rifts. Rifts Earth. By country mile. I'm the wrong person to ask this question, because my answer will always be Rifts. If being forced to say anything other than Rifts, one of the ones that immediately come to mind is actually Orune. I'm gonna be talking about Orune on Wednesday actually, but Orune is really interesting because the entire idea is like, oh, we've been like, we are, everyone's in space. It's it's a big space thing. But pretty much a bunch of literally magic aliens came from another universe, built us a bunch of like super cool ring worlds to live on, and then fucked off to go back to the magic land. Because they were like, oh fuck, we're having to fight a death war against something. Oops. And that's what Rifts is. Rifts is insane. Rifts is its own beautiful thing. This is Orune I'm talking about, the space one. Like, there's so much shit going on in Orune that it's completely insanity. Rifts has a lot of stuff. Orune, O-R-U-N. O-R-U-N. Rifts is interesting in a different way because every single thing is batshit, or just picture the entirety of everything you thought was cool in the 90s. Anything the word radical can be applied to, that's Rifts. Hey guys, I'm in my giant power mech, cause it's radical. Hey guys, look at the bad guys. They're fucking super power armor Nazi murderers who want to kill all magic and aliens. Why? Cause they're radical. That's just Rifts. It's amazing. What's your favorite game that you've made? Oh, Jesus. I love all my games. I think they're all amazing. Radical! Yeah. I would say, out of all of the games I've made, my favorite one, I can tell you the one I dislike the most. I dislike Anthrodesis Dissonance. That one was a pain in the ass. and I'm still not happy with that game. I think I know how to fix it, ironically, because of And Towards the Dawn. I think I know how to fix that game pretty fucking well. It's just time consuming. But my absolute favorite, that's a tough one. That's a fucking really tough one. I would say most likely Blood, Coin, and Steel. Gonna be honest with you when I say most likely Blood, Coin, and Steel. And I say that for two very distinctive reasons. One, I put so much time, blood, and sweat into that game, it's really impossible for me to not love it. It's everything I liked about it. It also was my first major foray into game design. Like, that was like the first thing that got me like super interested in this and kickstarted all of this, to be honest. So like BCS holds a very important place in my heart that I don't think any other game can really kind of get there. Writing wise, I think my best writing came in with Song of the White Carnations, unironically. I think that game just turned out really fucking well when it came to just presentation and writing wise. How do you feel about Metal Saviors? Metal Saviors is a game. I think the issue is like that is a constant reoccurring problem I've had with a lot of different things. Mostly the thing with Metal Saviors. The thing with Metal Saviors is that I went in there with kind of not a great idea, and I was like, kind of going about it a lot. I think it's in a good place right now. It just I need to go in there and like make it work. What was Song of the White Carnations about? Song of the White Carnations is about effectively a fictional Spanish Civil War. And the entire idea is that you are vagabonds. People who have gotten together to sail down the river. Sail down the river of Enuria, helping people out, finding out issues, solving crimes, you know, the regular adventure thing, but you're always going down the river. It's very somber, it's very quiet, it's a very quiet game. And that's kind of the big thing there. It's a very quiet game with a very unique theme to it. And I think that's kind of the issue with that one. That I kind of have a strong feelings toward it that I really like. So reckon what's going to be the next thing that will be consumed by the Eye of Sauron from the mainstream. Like the next thing really kind of popping off. I don't really know what's going to be popping off next. Horror movie wise, I thought dolls were going to be the next big thing. I thought fairy tales and like dolls and shit, I thought that was going to be the next like really big thing in horror movies. That didn't really come to pass because Guillermo del Toro literally made the perfect horror movie, fairy tale horror movie, and nobody else has been able to make another one. He's kind of got that cornered. Generally speaking, video wise, most likely we're going to start seeing a lot of remakes. We're going to see a shit ton of remakes of older games. I think in the next about probably like 5 years, we're going to consistently get a really big remake. And I say remake, not a remaster, remake. that's going to be the next big thing there. Movies wise, I think people are kind of getting sick of the superhero stuff, so I think we're probably going to see some more like smaller independent stuff kind of spiking up. Yeah, like Moana's getting remade, Harry Potter is getting remade. I can tell you the thing with like Moana, it's not Moana, it is not necessarily Disney wanting to do that. It is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wanting to do. Yeah. Well, the thing with Harry Potter, like you got to remember this with Harry Potter, for example, like the original Harry Potter movie. Like, the original, like, Sorcerer's Stone came out in 2001. This movie is 22 years old. 22 fucking years old. So, yeah, like, how old is Daniel Radcliffe now? Like, he's 33. He's fucking 33 years old. Like, that's kind of the idea. Like remaking that's within the acceptable range. That's within the acceptable range. How do you think the Harry Potter remake will be received? Very much depends on who's cast, who's everything, who's writing. Very much depends. Well, recently compared to other movies, 20 years ago, man, big fucking deal. Gonna be, hey, I usually don't say anything when it comes to like remakes and stuff, because for all we know it's gonna be like the musical remake or whatever, because you gotta remember Harry Potter had a musical, and Harry Potter also had like a fucking like theater production of it. The Harry Potter franchise is not small, guys. Like, it's not a small franchise. Also, Lubu, to answer your question, has any licensed TTRPGs been good outside stuff like Star Wars and what have you? The Alien RPG is phenomenal. Every single person who has ever played the Alien RPG has said it is a phenomenal game. We're seeing a lot more licensed TTRPGs come out, usually by the same companies. Some of them are very much cash grabs. Very much cash grabs. Other than, like, you get, like, the One Ring 2nd edition coming out, which are really not, because that game is very good and very, very well put together. We're seeing a lot of those, mostly from Modiphius. Modiphius is a big company doing them, as well as Free League. Those two are the big two when it comes to licensed properties. We've been seeing slowly other licensed games, because people know now, like, the amount of money you have to put into a TTRPG versus the amount of money you might make out of it is very disproportionate. On the other hand, it's also completely disproportionate as well. You can invest very little and make a shit ton back, or make absolutely nothing. And I think it's all because of the Avatar game. Fun fact. The Avatar game completely fucked over everyone. I called Eden, that did a lot, but Angel, Buffy, Army of Darkness were the big ones. Yes, Eden, because they had Unisystem. That was a big thing there. They had Unisystem, the Unisystem. They're still around, kind of still around, not really. They're kind of a shell of who they are. Really lost a lot of the licenses. That's usually the big thing, is like, the licenses get more expensive. Now you get shit like Everyday Heroes, which is getting a bunch of movie licenses randomly, that everyone's like, why do you have movie licenses? This is random. Why are you the way you are, Everyday Heroes? Then you realize you guys are fucking VP at Amazon, so what do I know, right? But yeah, no, we're gonna see pretty consistently, I think, more franchise games in we're gonna see more franchise-based games in our little sphere. I don't believe we'll see independent stuff. There's two things that are going to be happening. Here's the thing. Here's two things that's going to be happening with our sphere. My predictions. 1, 2024, next year, the convergence is going to happen. God help us all. There will be no survivors. I've seen the D&D VTT. I've seen the D&D VTT. It's Jover, everybody. I'm sorry, we're fucked. It's Jover. We had a good run, everyone. See you on the other side. 'Cause I had a bad day, we're totally fucked, and we're not gonna have a good time. We're totally fucked. Yeah, that's my philosophy on the matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't impress you. It's going to impress normies. I say that in the nicest way possible, by the way, when I say the normies. That's the thing. It is an inferior product to literally every fantasy video game. You understand the key fucking problem. Is they want to capture a very certain audience. Virtual tabletop, Roll20, Foundry, you probably heard at least of one of these. You've probably heard at least one of them before. Roll20 is the biggest. But D&D, Wizards of the Coast, is rolling out their very own, running on Unreal 5, by the way, which is weird. Like, the thing there, McDrewsalt, is since everything's going to be tied to D&D Beyond, and the OGL crisis backfired. Like, it completely fucking backfired. Like, everyone's gone back to it. It's great. It doesn't need that engine. It's a virtual tabletop. Yeah, I know, but they're using it anyway. Because it's like a 3D thing. Here, I will pull it up. I am D&D VTT. To kind of give you like an idea, like, this is what they're doing. Because they're like animating everything for you to kind of like do stuff. It's not like this. It's like a fully like 3D environment you can move around. And it's going to tell you like distances and stuff. What it reminded me a lot of is it reminded me a lot of Divinity Original Sin. If you've ever played any or ever seen or any heard of these games before, it reminded me a lot of that. But they're doing like it's like a video game thing. You kind of see here like, oh, well, you can link your D&D Beyond character, which you only have a certain amount of slots for D&D, you know, Beyond character sheets, fun fact. And yeah, it's a little... Because the weird thing is, you can't make these maps anymore. You can't, like, the guys making maps like this, you can't make. Because you have to be in this, like, 3D space here, which is, like, that's not gonna go over very well. That's not gonna go over very well at all. And... You're running into a continual problem when it comes to these VTTs. Like Foundry, the thing is, like, I don't like Foundry, okay? I fucking hate Foundry. The thing, I don't like Foundry very much because it's kind of hard for you to do your own thing in Foundry, if that makes sense. If everything's already set up for you, then it's fine. Like, people got pissy, but overall, they are still sitting pretty. Exactly. That's the problem. Like, well, I feel good about spending money on D&D again after the OGL stuff. Crazy to see how quickly people change their position. Yeah, you see the problem. Like, that was the issue with the OGL stuff. And, like, so many people, like, oh, well, we'll hop ship to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And then it's like, people are like, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is too complicated for me. I don't want to play anymore. And it's like... Huh. Wonder how this went. Oh no. Oh no. How? Oh no. Do you think all Roll20 D&D will go to one D&D VT? I think a lot of people are going to shift. I think there's going to be kind of a mutual agreement there. Let's just say that. Like, people are still going to use Roll20 primarily. But if you're using D, I can guarantee you this. If you're using D&D Beyond, you're going to be encouraged to use the D&D VTT. You're not going to be able to transfer things as easily. You're not going to be able to move things as easily. It's going to be clunkier. It's going to be slower. It's going to be more annoying. And that's what it's really going to be. It's going to be a just more frustrating experience for people trying to play the game on anything other than their thing. Because you got to remember this, everybody. We got to remember this little thing. Who owns Roll20? And who does Roll20 own now? Let's all close our eyes and remember who fucking owns drive-through RPG now. Yeah, Roll20 owns it. Like, local man upset computer more efficient than paper. Honestly, because the thing is, the VTTs are more valuable than the games at this point. That's the really weird thing. Yeah, DTRPG and Roll20 merged together. Like, they're the same company. But the thing is, this is the thing that's a little bit fucked up. DTRPG is technically the secondary in that thing. You know, the head of DTRPG, head of One Bookshelf, is just on the, effectively on the board for Roll20s, the OR group. That's what, they're just on that board. Which is like, holy shit. That's why anytime you go to like DTRPG, you always see Roll20 ads, because they're the same company now. And I think that was like probably one of the big reasons why, you know, Wizards wants to make their own VTT so they can strangle their competition effectively. Because who hosts the DM Guild? Doesn't this count as a monopoly? We are not nearly as big. And any monopoly suit that comes forward will immediately be laughed out of court because this is so little money. And there is competition, except all the competition is run by morons. Simple as. And that's kind of the grandiose problem, Lubu. That's the funny thing. Because I kind of talked about it in the video a little bit. The main competitors to Drive-Thru RPG, the main people competing, are Big Geek Emporium, itch.io, and DTRPG. Those are the three big competitors. DTRPG now officially, mind you, has a VTT partner. It's a junior partner to a VTT. It hosts the DM's Guild and pretty much any other community content for any of these major companies outside of their own unique sites. They go through DTRPG. Most things go through DTRPG in that regard. No one's doing fucking print to order. God, I wish we had a Google Doc where all this info is located. Like, you don't even, I can just Google it real fast. Roll20, and yeah, this is the uniting the party thing. This is their official announcement. Integration, passion for tabletop companies. You know, Roll20 are supposed to see a critical competencies in another, and we know even greater success. You know, it's like, where was it? PDFs, you know, PDF support for Roll20's VTT, giving GM player the ability to upload, read, share, immediate play using any PDF in the VTT. Access your content anywhere, forging best-in-class marketplaces, you know, maximizing reach, hybrid PDF conversion. Where was the, you know, combined me of now 80 strong and 50 developers. The weird thing is, yeah, you kind of see it now, join forces, leading, you know, content, you know, world's leading TTRPG content platform. Just placed over 10 million users to play TTRPGs daily. 10 million users. Yeah, manages 11 e-commerce marketplaces, Drive-Thru DM's Guild. Yeah, it's, I believe, yeah, no, Roll20 is partnered with Roll20. move under to realize new vision for the platform. Ankit Lal, I believe, is pretty much the new one. Where was the new CEO having promoted the president of Roll20 in January 22, 14 years experience. One Bookshelf CEO Steve Week will join the governing board and executive team, bringing 35 years experience. Yeah, that's he's just now part of the board. Also, how much money do we need to raise to get you to the point where we can pose a threat to Hasbro? That's not happening anytime soon. Pretty much, you want to kill D&D. Here's the secret how to kill D&D. You make D&D not profitable anymore. But the problem is, D&D is not a game anymore. You know, it's never a game. Oh, no, my friends. It's a franchise. It's a franchise now. Introducing Notepad VTT only has Notepad's games on there. Yeah. And the fact that it's a franchise, it's an unkillable death machine at this point. I thought they were getting a series, actually. And no other series, no other game, no other thing really has ever really been able to crack the D&D shell. And I think that's one of the major reasons it keeps coming back. It's like, hey, it's time for this. You can argue something like Call of Cthulhu could try to dethrone it, but is it Call of Cthulhu or is it just another Lovecraft movie? That's the infinite irony of the matter. That's why I think in the future, like in the coming years, I think we're going to see a mass upswing of OSR content. We're going to see a lot of D&D content. We're going to see a lot of. Also, is it because companies like Disney or others with actual money don't care to take on Hasbro, mostly due to forgetting it exists? Disney has absolutely no reason to care. Because Disney and Hasbro work together. Who do you think makes the Disney toys? It's Hasbro. Who do you think really kind of does and like the other big, the other big media companies? Hasbro isn't one of the big media companies. That's the funny thing. They are not one of the big media companies. Hasbro is not even really up there. Like, generally speaking, Hasbro has a lot of franchises that they kind of like bring out there. Wait, then why hasn't D&D stamped out the other games company? Because they can't. Well, the competition. Well, that's the funny thing, Lubu. They have. They have actually stamped it out. Because think about it like this. Let's think of a few games, okay? Think of like the biggest games in your head. Really think about the big games in your head. What's kind of coming to the mind? You're probably thinking Call of Cthulhu. That's done by Chaosium. Chaosium is not a massive company. It's actually a very small company, all things considering. It makes a good chunk of money, don't get me wrong, but not millions of dollars. Big, mind you. Far from it, in fact. Okay, Paizo. Pathfinder is effectively D&D 3.5. That's it got its start making 3.5 content, for God's sake. The Pathfinder Society is a D&D thing. A vast majority of actual Pathfinder lore is rooted with D&D stuff. Okay. Let's think of some of the other big games. Let's think of the other Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds doesn't make a shit ton of money. Of course not. Why would, like, it's run by Pinnacle, for God's sakes. These guys don't make a shit ton of money. Like, no other company in our sphere really is like this multi-million-dollar super organization. And you might be thinking, well, what about Vampire the Masquerade? What about White Wolf? White Wolf got gutted being about 2 years ago now. White Wolf got completely gutted by Paradox Interactive. Because remember, White Wolf is owned by Paradox Interactive, a video games publisher from Sweden, after being owned by the guys who made Eve for years. Yeah, remember the fact that White Wolf got passed around like a fucking whore for a while there? And they even talk about things like Modifius here, you know, like Modifius is a independent entity, but they do almost exclusively at this point licensed content. And they make their money running Kickstarter. They make their money running Kickstarters. They make their money on licensed products. Really, Kickstarter. Kickstarter, every game has a Kickstarter. They're all licensed products. You see what I mean by there isn't, it has killed the competition. There really isn't any other, no other game can really stand up to it in any remote capacity. And the games that can attempt to do it have either fallen by the wayside or have kind of fucked over elsewhere. It's a mess, genuinely. And but here's the issue: it just doesn't make enough money. D&D by itself cannot support itself. Like, Wizards of the Coast is as large as it is because they have Magic the fucking Gathering. And you're like, let's just remember that. It's not just Wizards of the Coast and D&D. No, it's Magic the fucking Gathering. You know, with, you know, cardboard crack and the millions of dollars that brings in constantly. Yeah, they also do the Pokemon TCG here in the States. They have a fuck ton of money on like just doing things. It's not D&D doesn't bring in the money. D&D is the franchise though. Because D&D, you can't make a Magic the Gathering movie. Trust me, no one's gonna go watch a Magic the fucking Gathering movie. But D&D, my mother knows D&D. And if you go to just about anyone out there, even if they like don't know what like tabletop games really are, you can make a rough assumption they probably know what D&D kind of is. They're pretty sure they know what D&D is. But if you say, hey, I'm talking about a game called Orun, and they're going to look at you like you're fucking insane. They're going to look at you like you are completely insane and smoking heroin. And it's like, oh, this isn't good. So when I say the competition's dead, I'm not lying. The competition's dead on arrival. That's why we really need to get a better way of making money effectively in this industry, because currently it's go on Kickstarter and beg. That's the current way to make money. You go to a third-party website, you get on your knees, and you beg people, and you might just get unlucky. Think about the number of people who went on there with their brand new cool game and got fucked because Shadow Dark came out. Sorry, you just lost. It's over before it began. It also doesn't help many of those Kickstarters or the PBTA or D20 D&D like, yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of those games, what are you gonna do? Because you see someone write like, oh, here's the level 1 to 5 adventure for D&D 5th edition, the greatest role-playing game on earth. They're making 50 grand a fucking Kickstarter for something that takes them a week to write. And it's like, oh, well, shit. Fuck me, I guess. And you do see some games that are like relatively successful outside of that. While I may not like it, Lancer is a successful game. But there's a catch to this. Lancer also has the power of a very prolific webcomic artist, shilling it relentlessly. It's also using a game that already exists. Twice. I should really stop making streams where I just go on doomer rants. I don't mean to be a game that exists twice. What? Lancer is very heavily based off a game called Shadow of the Demon Lord. Shadow of the Demon Lord was originally Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. It was a much earlier rendition of 5th edition. So pretty much Lancer is by proxy D&D. It's great. Ah, oh, god damn it. That's the funny part. And yeah, it's I've learned to dislike D&D heavily. I will say this. This is and this will always be my hot take of the, hot take of the year. D&D is a fine game. I've always said it. It's fine. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. I use Tabletop Sim. D&D walks up to you and be like, I am a game about going into a dungeon and killing goblins. And everyone says, oh, it's a game. It's a game about going into dungeons and killing goblins. And if you accept that that's what that game is about, it's fine. Not great, not bad. It's good. It does its job. It's the prevalence of it that I don't like. It's the fact that every single game has to be associated with or just be D&D 5th edition. That's the annoying thing. It insists on itself. Yeah. You joke, but yeah. This is Burger King is the only fast food restaurant in town. Problem. Jumped on the Sword World 2.5 train and regret nothing. Yeah. A lot of people started hopping on different games with the OGL crisis, but a lot of people went back. I remember there's this one VTuber I see. Actually, let me see if I can find her. I find it funny. I wonder if she kept it up. I will make this. That's not it. That's not you. That's not you. Where are you? I know you're here. You. Oh, Miss Belladonna. Now, the funny thing is, she likes to say that she's a D&D content creator. Now, a few months ago, during the peak of the OGL crisis, she actually made like a very big point. I'm gonna get fucking flagged for this, by the way, of just going through this. She made a very big point of changing it to TTRPGs because she doesn't support it, and then she immediately changed it back. Same shit. Wow, I've never really looked through her. I've never really looked through her Twitter before. Wow. Man, I love talent freedom. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god, does she post like... He posts every single day. My God. No. We're gonna close that out now. Oh, hey. This is one of those rare people I've muted. I just want a tabletop game that does social and factual combat, make it fun, and that's all. Yeah, I keep seeing about Indeed memes. This is one of those rare people I've muted. It's like standard VTuber Twitter. It's just like, wow, you're posting literally daily. Like, Jesus, man, local man, surprised someone whose job it is to be online, post online every day. Yeah, but not Twitter, man. God, Twitter, I hate Twitter. Yeah, she posts a lot, and she pops up quite a bit. Not nearly as much for me, mostly because most of my Twitter is now in Japanese. Oh yeah, hello, Ethical. Welcome back. We've gotten nothing done. I've been doomer posting about I've been having my local man loses faith in humanity again. Loses last bit of faith he had. So let's get back to probably not too longer because my throat is dying. War Four Fingers kicking off. Many creators have been quickly graduated from various academies, from medic schools, returning from prolonged exile to stake their claim in the ensuing chaotic Armageddon war. Each creator. Focuses. Yeah, I think we're going to rename those to disciplines because I think it gives a little bit better idea of what we're going for. Each creator is assigned a discipline, and a reflection of their training ability, reflection of their training and abilities and substance abuses, and mutagenic exposure. As they grow, the creators will increase their strength and prowess, as well as begin to further mutate from the prolonged exposure to the mutagenic to the goop. Often as they develop, so will their Notamon. As they develop, so will their Notamon, allowing them to strike down their enemies. A tumultuous world. First and only time I will ever be able to use the term tumultuous. Armageddon world, alchemically dependent. Increase their strength, tumultuous, because tumultuous is a funny word. Put you down here. Probably gonna rename some things, but we're gonna go down to Okie. We're gonna just take all of you, like right now. We're going to bring it all the way back up here. So what I'm going to do is I've been having shotgun problems. Ah, yes. I shall never think about shotguns again. This awful question about how to properly make shotguns work. Yeah, it's hard, but I got it. God damn it, I need to leave. My pewter's about to burn itself out. Yeah, go to sleep. I'm going to be leaving here soon as well because my throat's giving out, and I still have to record audio for tonight. Yeah, I still need to record audio tonight, so that's going to be fun in my throat. Yeah. Wait, do you guys actually think I like do the audio for the videos ahead of time? No, I do it the night of. I write the script, I do the audio, I get everything set up, and then make the entire video in a day. Then I upload it on the day after. It keeps my head in the game. I don't think you're on my content creator grind. It's not doing it last minute. It's doing it at about 3 a.m. There is actually a good reason why I do like the audio pretty late, because I live on the first floor. Cars go by all the time, and my mic will pick it up as I just bash my mic. So what I do is I wait till in like kind of the middle of the night, then I record, because if I record late at night, nothing's out, so nothing pops up. And it's super easy. It's so hard to find actual books or people talking about how to do old school dungeon and hex crawls. I had to go to Wet the Amp for tip from the older Are you seriously complaining there aren't many OSR blogs now? Oh, Jesus. Oh Lord Almighty. We really are gaming. Okay, so let's see. All creators have a discipline. This one, specialization, particular in how they choose to approach the creation and battling with Notamon. Notamon we don't need in the field. While others, often the different. Body and mind. Specialization of both body and mind in their approach to the creation and battling of Notamon. Often these different philosophies work together if needed. Many differences have erupted into violence. Differences have erupted into open violence between the schools of thought. With the War of Four Fingers raging, many disciplines have dedicated themselves to one of the rings. Many disciplines have dedicated themselves philosophically to even more radical ideologies. Themselves more to even more radical ideologies. Creators are rarely a peaceful people, and war brings out their true purpose, killing one another. When first drafting a creator, they will select one discipline to determine their initial their initial attributes, skills, and traits. Attributes, skills, and traits. After this, the discipline. The discipline has little influence on their future development. Has little influence on their future development, allowing them and there we go. There we go. So the basic idea is, if we want to break, I'm going to break this down as kind of like a side something, but I'm just going to put this like right here. Is we're going to break these down into kind of like 4 broad categories. Is we're going to have all-rounders, which are going to have decent stat spreads everywhere. We're going to have jacked attributes, which are actually we're going to have more kind of like the kind of more of the warriors, which are heavy in attributes, no skills / traits. We're going to have here. We're going to have skill monkeys. Monkey is heavy in skills, no attributes, traits. And finally, we're going to have freaks, heavy traits, no attribute / skills. Those are going to be our kind of our four domains. Now, if I want to, what I can do, because if we want to keep the reoccurring theme of 5 3s, we can probably see about adding another one. Actually, what we can probably do something like a summoners or something, which are extra starting goop for additional issues, or something like that. We can go through. Pretty much like you have a higher baseline of goop that you can actively use. It's like, yeah, you have really good skills, you kind of suck in everything else, but your actual Notamon are going to be stronger. You suck, so hopefully you can actually make something decent. I'm complaining that there's very few ways to find out how to do things old school, because that's the best way to do it, play by post. Did I miss anything funny? I went on about an hour-long rant on the industry, Manly. That's all you missed. about an hour and a half long rant on our wretched industry. And I'm about to leave as well, so sorry, Manly. See, nobody bought Manly this stream, so nobody got to see my beautiful Manly. His beauty, miss. Behold, Buttermer Manly. He's beautiful. Oh, Jesus. He's beautiful. Grotesque. What? The horse like Manly was bad. Yeah, it's it's Buttermer Manly. I tried to give the right impression of a creature that looks like it's in agonizing pain constantly but cannot scream. Can you draw him dying in flame? Sorry. Butterman. Manly, I don't know what you're talking about. He's perfect. He's the ultimate Buttermer. He's truly my beautiful Notamon. Buttermer. Buttermer, I choose you. He's gorgeous, Manly. I don't know what you're talking about. He truly is gorgeous. There's ice cream. You scream ice cream. We all scream. Again, he only looks like he's in like moderate pain. Maybe a little bit more than moderate pain. Like maybe like 50, like on a scale to like 1 to 10, with 10 being agonizing misery, I give him a solid like 6.5. He looks dead. He looks like he wish he was dead, Ethical. He tried to find a game like me and just found something corrupted dead on arrival. Yeah, no, I thought giving the eyes would really tie everything together. Manly, don't you like Buttermer, Manly? He's beautiful. He's really gonna be my beautiful Notamon. I choose you, Buttermer. I don't know what you like. 100 HP trait, agonizing, except for 1 damage and turn ability. It screams, but no one answers. That's really funny, Manly. You think you have a mouth? That's really funny. No. I can see the tongue. You can have a tongue. That doesn't mean you have a mouth, though. He's beautiful, Manly. Ability, ew. Enemies refuse to attack you out of pity and disgust. Again, you can hear him, can't you? You can hear the squelching noise as he like rolls toward you slowly, leaving like a little like trail of goo behind him. You can see it, can't you? You can smell it. You can hear it. The small, voice of mewling agony, as you can barely perceive it as it rolls slowly toward you. We'll give him a poison attack. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I need nothing more. Truly, we are gaming. All right, I'm gonna call it there because I need to fix my throat up. So all of you got to see Butter Manly, so make sure next time you buy him earlier. We all get to see Butter Manly the entire stream. So thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad, and we didn't get as much done as I hoped today, but we're gonna continue on Wednesday. Probably I'm gonna be working on the disciplines through this. Most likely, I think I know how I want to do the disciplines. It's just tying everything together very nicely with them to make them all work. And again, 5s and 3s. That's kind of the big thing here. Everything is going to be 5s and 3s. But yeah, no, this is have a nice night, everyone. Godspeed, good luck, and I will see you all on the flip side. Also, tomorrow, if I get done with the video early tomorrow, we will be working on Table Derby, likely. So, yeah.